Okay guys, welcome to my channel. Just want to go through some analysis which I'm going to be looking at for next week, starting with USD CAD. So we can see last week that we had this weekly candle which closed bullish, also leaving this wick. So my ideas with this next week is for a wick to pull back into this area of interest, and then potentially looking for the candle to flip and fill last week's wick back up to these highs at this area of interest, which we can see has been well respected in the past. Also on the weekly we can see that we failed to make a new lower low, so this is also showing me that this market is struggling to continue down. So this definitely looks like there's some room to the upside for me. On the daily, we're going to be looking for candles to come back into this area of interest. Daily candle closure. Also end up meeting up with this EMA. 4 hour, again, is currently bullish. I do believe this might go bearish to obviously come into my area of interest. So possibly we'll be looking for a 4H to flip bullish again, and then as it comes to make the new what will be higher low, I'll be looking for a shifter structure in that higher low that it's creating to then continue back up. So yeah, I think that's everything on USD CAD. Yeah, so that's USD CAD. Moving on, AUD JPY. This is again a counter trend trade, so it's a bit more of a high risk trade, but it does all make sense to me, so I will be possibly looking to take it. If you remember last week we took a trade on this, which hit take profit for 2R. Check my previous video for the reason behind that. This week, yeah, the weekly's closed with a lovely bearish candle, so I'll be looking for net this week for a wick into here to meet up with this maybe zone here, which is a bit clearer on the daily. Yeah, so as you can see on the daily, another point I can also show here is we've made this head and shoulders pattern. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So as I've explained previously, we'll be looking for a test of the neckline, that head and shoulders, to look for this to continue down. So this is zone here. Also be testing this previous structure point, which is here, which is also another confluence for me. So I'll be looking for, yeah, so daily candles come up into this area of interest, a nice close and a shifter structure on the lower time frames once we get the daily close into this area of interest, so then look for some more to the downside. I think that's everything. AUD JPY. Next trade, GBP USD. Which I have explained in my previous video briefly. We had this start from the weekly. So yeah, got this nice candle closure here, bearish. Looking for obviously the next candle again, wick to fill into this area of interest, and then for the flip back down to where we've previously come to before. On the daily, again, so we'll be got this lovely head and shoulders pattern. Right shoulder, head, left shoulder. obviously looking for a retest of this neckline. Also going to be testing the EMA as this rolls down. Look for a candle closure in here. Again, we're going to want to see some shifter structure at this previous structure point also. Once we get a daily closure in here, we're going to be looking for a shifter structure on the lower time frames to potentially head back down to this level again. The 4 hour, we are currently just shifted bullish, so we could potentially wait for a shifter structure on the 4 hour here, just so we've got that time frame in sync. But failing that, we do have 2 time frames in sync anyway, so we can just wait for the lower time frame shifter structure once a daily closes in here to enter and come back down to this level here. So I think that's everything on GU. Next is NZD USD. Starting from the weekly, you can see here we have a lovely head and shoulders formed on the weekly. Nice head and shoulders pattern formed there on the weekly. So as always, again, we're going to be looking for a retest, which will just be the wick on the next weekly candle to wick into this area of interest, which is also going to be testing the head and shoulders for it to then roll down, looking for targets to this area here. Go to the daily. So yeah, we'll be waiting for another daily candle, maybe not even a daily candle closure this time, because we are quite close to this area of interest. So what I will be looking for here is just a shifter structure in and around this zone. Hopefully see this daily EMA start to roll down as well, help push that market down. Yeah, also this will be creating a nice lower high on the daily, which is where we want to be selling at. We always want to be selling at a lower high or a higher low. Yeah, so again, wait for a shifter structure in this area. The weekly to create its weekly wick into here, and then shifter structure on the lower time frames to then potentially sell back down to this zone. So I think that's everything on NZD USD. Lastly, CAD JPY. We've got the weekly, which is bullish, as you can see. Daily is bearish, just shifted bearish. Got this nice candle here, which has shifted us bearish. We'll be waiting for a daily closure candle at this previous structure point to create our new lower high. We're waiting for some 4 hour rejection at this area of interest as well. Obviously, hopefully we'll meet up with this EMA. So yeah, that's what we'll be looking for. So we're just basically trying to, we look left, we're just basically trying to catch a move similar to this, which has happened in the past. We've had the push, we've had the retracement back to the area of interest, candle closure at the area of interest, wait for some sort of shifter structure in here, and then we look to catch this candle here back down to these lows. So again, very similar situation here which we're looking for. So we'll be looking for structure to pull into here, daily close into this area, maybe with some rejection, shifter structure to then sell back down to this zone here. So yeah, hope that makes sense, guys. Doing my best to explain things. I'm still new to all of this, so trying to explain all these trades out loud is not as easy as it looks, but over time I will get better with it. Any feedback in the comments will be greatly appreciated. Remember to like and subscribe, and hopefully some of you guys can catch these trades next week.